Happy March.
And say I know some of the championship or the conference championships have started happening, so we're going to start getting seeding here soon.
Yeah,
we're going to do us.
North Carolina sucks this year. So,
are you a North Carolina fan? Are you one of those?
Hey, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. This year, unfortunately, anyway. Like, what?
You really tried to work up something there. Like, there's got to be a sun side to this. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I am. They suck. So
maybe it's just the part of the country I'm from, but it's always either like black dudes or really pasty white dudes are always big North Carolina fans.
Well, see, I watched like whatever
of those states. I mean.
It seems accurate. I watched the 09 championship. So whenever Tyler Hansborough, speaking of pasty white dudes, like that dude was a pasty white dude. He could ball. So too bad he didn't do good in the pros. Like he was terrible in the NBA. So
well, there's only so far that being scrappy will get you, and
yeah.
What is it? Like the white dude, where he's real scrappy, or he's a real gym rat. You know, he's a real go getter. Puts a lot of effort in there.
Yeah, I guess I liked him because like that was the kind of player I was. Like I wasn't like the like all-star, the like black the white kid that played like a black kid. I wasn't like that. So being scrappy was the only alternative, I guess. Like you see those white kids and they're balling like just like you're like, oh, like what is he actually white or is
he's just putting on
I modeled
face.
a lot of my game after Tim Duncan. Just a lot of bank shots and just be really fundamentally good. I was a boring player, I guess is what I was saying.
Real WNBA material. That's
probably why I ended up spending so much time working for the women's teams in college. Just fit with what I did best.
Hey, haven't you seen that commercial? They dunk now.
They as in Brittany Griner, or is there another one that's also dunking?
There's some compilation, like a commercial, like we dunk now, and it's like a compilation of like all the dunks that have ever happened in WNBA. You know, they might even replay the same one a couple times from different angles.
It's like barely a dunk. It's like they just barely. Oh God,
it is.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't.
Got Candace Parker from. Got Candace Parker from like a decade ago, and then Brittany Griner, and I don't know. There was
one chick that was trying to, but like she could do it. She did it in warm-ups, but then like she tried to do it in a game, and she just like whiffed it completely, bounced it all the way back, and it went out of bounds. It was like SportsCenter not top 10.
We played it.
I'm pretty sure they got roasted for that one.
When I was working for Murray State's team, they played at University of Northern Iowa, and UNI had this girl that was 6'7", and she was pretty hot. But like during warm-ups, she went in for a dunk and got hung on the rim. I'm like, that's not good. I mean, which she was like super tall white girl. She was the epitome of white chick. So it didn't surprise me when she attempted to dunk and missed. But when you're 6'7", it shouldn't be that big of a stretch to get up there, especially if you're a 6'7" college athlete. Like. I guess college athlete, right?
Mm-hmm. So what have we got on the docket for today?
We done with sports?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got our sports talk out of the way. Moving on.
Oh, we could talk about one more thing in sports. if we're talking basketball, we can talk about one other thing, I guess, and it's Ja Morant. He had an Instagram live where he flashed a gun, and he apparently got suspended. So
Wait,
you
what was
can't
the deal
show
with that? It wasn't like on game grounds or whatever, was it?
not that I'm aware. Like it was just that he was on his Instagram live, and I don't know if he's in his car or something like, but he shows his gun, and then they suspended him. Oh wait, people said that maybe he's not suspended quite yet. Let's see.
If you're perpetuating those stereotypes.
I'm pretty sure he is suspended, or if he's not suspended, he's voluntarily taking some time away from the league and other things to voluntarily.
Yeah, it says he's just gonna step away for a couple games, I guess. He says he's taking full responsibility of his actions. What? Like
What?
He just has a gun.
I mean, I guess there were other stories that he had like beat up a 17-year-old or did some other stuff like
yeah.
But like it sounds like this was just like the icing on the cake for a bunch of other stuff that had been going on. But yeah, and there were other people who were commenting on it like like this is all like him trying to put on a show to be tough. Like he went to a private school and his parents are like happily married and like a very well-to-do family and everything else. Like yeah, like they gotta act tough. Like they gotta act like they're from the streets now. I thought we got past that point. Like I thought we moved past the like mid-90s
like
NBA
rich
thug ball.
And
Can't we just normalize people who have a lot of money just carrying a gun for security? Like, why does it have to be a thug thing? Like, he should be carrying a gun. Now, he shouldn't be flashing on Instagram either. That's not responsible.
Yeah,
but there's nothing wrong. I mean, the dude's fucking probably driving around in a rich ass fucking car and shit. He should have a fucking gun on him.
Yeah.
Lord knows what kind of neighborhoods he still frequents.
Especially in fucking Memphis. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not carrying a gun in Memphis, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't carry in Memphis. Like it's probably the worst. It's probably out of Tennessee is a really relatively safe state and in a lot of red areas. But then you go to Memphis, you better be packing.
I was like, I saw a statistic the other day that was talking about like all of these red states that had these really high murder rates. And like Tennessee was on that list. It's like if you literally just remove Memphis, and you don't even have to remove Nashville. You just remove Memphis from that list, or from the county, the stats, and Tennessee drops like into the bottom 15. But with Memphis on the list, they're like top 5 for murder rates. It's like, and
it's like
Alabama.
It's like
Alabama,
from
like Huntsville, Birmingham. Or maybe if you remove Birmingham and Mobile, then like Alabama would be like way down because like Birmingham and Mobile are probably the worst. But maybe Montgomery too. Montgomery is pretty bad, but
it's like Missouri. If you remove St. Louis from Missouri, it drops way into the bottom. It's like it's not that these red states have a problem with murders. It's the very, very urban epicenters of those states have huge problems with it, and then the rest of the state, it's almost non-existent.
Hell yeah. Build that wall around Memphis.
And who's
build the wall around the cities.
I've been saying that for years.
And who's running those cities and have been running those cities for literally decades?
Well, not now that racism and sexism is taking hold and expelling the well, there's like I was here like this dude and the gun and stuff. Like there's the thing for like optics, was like important with a lot of stuff. And like I'm gonna tell you guys a little story that happened to me the other day, and just to drive that point home. Like I was coming home from from West Palm, and it's a long drive, and just one of these small towns in the middle of nowhere. I stop at Wendy's to pee and get some food, and I'm standing in line, and first off, there was a trans behind the register, which was interesting because it was like it was just pretty apparent, what was going on, that it was a trans, dude trying to look like a chick a little bit, but. Like Mexican teenagers have like the wispy mustaches and like goatee, like they had that, and I'm like, you can't have the dangly earrings and Janine on your shirt and a mustache and a goatee, like just you can't do that, man. But anyhow, this wasn't even the
that's not even the point.
No, so I'm standing like this wasn't even like the optics thing I'm talking about. Go figure. But it applies. But I'm standing there and I hear a loud voice behind me like, yo, where's the bus stop at? Where's the bus stop at? Cool. Carlos is here. Perfect. So I, slowly turn to not attract attention, and I see a short Mexican dude covered in face tattoos. Face, neck, under his eyes are all tatted up, and it looks like Arabic writing, like jihadi writing or something. So he all around, you know what I mean? Just not inviting. And he starts like where's the bus stop at in this town? I'm stranded here. What's up? And it's all old people dining in there because I think that's who dines in Wendy's. And this little old lady's like, we don't have a bus stop, And he's like, well, why not? What am I supposed to do? How do people get around? And she's like, we're a small town, like we don't have a bus system. Cars. And and he goes around and he's like, starts like interrogating, like, oh, who can give me a ride to West Palm? Then I need to get to West Palm, like it's expected, right? Yeah. And after he interrogates a couple old men on why they can't drive him to West Palm, and I'm just like, I just want to go home, man. I don't want to get into some shit here because there has to be a line where like you have to say, hey, dude, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But really, that should be management of Wendy's. Anyhow, but he finally leaves, and one of the old dudes like calls the cops, and like, I don't know, I didn't necessarily do anything like illegal, but it's kind of like Rambo. Like, I don't really mind the cops saying, hey, I'll give you a ride to West Palm, and as soon as they get out of the city limits, letting them out of the car. All right, it's that way. Keep walking. But it's like, man, like, okay, you got the fucking gangster tattoos and shit. And let me say, man, maybe he was like, born again, reformed, and this and that. But you could have gone around and just been polite to people and asked some questions. You know what I mean? Yeah. But who's gonna give you a ride? Like, you realize how you look and act, right? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, like, like you start getting uppity, like that's when people want, like, they start conflict, like
yes.
Like that's where those kind of situations, and that's why you carry, because like those kind of situations, like
exactly,
it's only going to escalate. Like it's
I couldn't, and I'm not the best at like calming, like talking to somebody who's heated and making sense to them, and I'm not good at that. So like, there's no way to, for me to I'm like, man, how? Other than the gun thing, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep my fucking mouth shut unless unless something happens. Because yeah, man, I mean, there's some people who are like good at that, like you watch some of the, I know probably not all big fans like Adam Kokesh, but like some like his old videos where he'd go around and like, like these big like military dudes were like wanting to get in a fight and beat his ass, and he was able to sort of talk to them and calm them down and get them to see his side, and then they go, okay, I see what you're saying, and they shake hands and leave. And like, I don't know, like situations like that just like terrify me. So I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I'd have a hard time keeping myself calm.
Yeah, it's you don't want to escalate it, and you also don't want to like, even if it does escalate like without your knowledge, like you don't want to be put in that situation of like, okay, exactly. I have to shoot this guy or something like that.
Yeah,
I have to deal with them.
Yeah, and I mean, because then even and again back to
even if you are proficient, even if you're okay with like, okay, well, I'm defending myself, and that all those things, still you don't want to just be like, okay, well, I got into a conflict, now I had to like off somebody or something.
Right? There's the I mean, I don't want to go through life with that on me, and then also you always have the issue. There is always a possible legal repercussion. Now back to optics. This guy had covered in face tattoos, you know what I mean, and was in there raising a stink. So, that probably wouldn't look good, on his side if it did come down to it,
Just hand your gun to one of the old dudes and be like, hold this for a second while I beat this guy's ass, and then just jump on it and start.
That's it. I'm gonna get in a fist fight with this Mexican gangster and win. Yeah. He was carrying a broom, and I don't know why. I left that part out.
See, You should have led with that. If I knew he had a broom, I'd have never suggested like jumping on him. Like, stay away from the dude wielding a broom. He's either
Look.
either he just escaped from Hogwarts or there's something else going on.
The whole situation
Carlos,
is strange.
Look, you've been watching this show. You know what's going down.
Hey, if I knew where the bus stop was, I gladly would have pointed him there. Like, it wasn't my town. Apparently there wasn't one. Apparently not a bus that ran all the way to West Palm.
Look,
oh, man.
like Carlos, we're just very judgmental, okay? Like this is how we are. Like we make assumptions like immediately.
Well, hey man, you hear what I said? Look, there was a total chance this guy could have been like a good guy or reformed or whatever. But when you take that approach and that volume and that tone of voice, I can't give you that benefit of the doubt, man. And I don't pick up hitchhikers anyhow, but definitely not with face tattoos.
That's probably the worst kind of hitchhiker to pick up, like a person with a face tattoo.
Yeah, covered face tattoos and a broom. I mean,
unless he's carrying a 12-pack of Bud Ice, and then you can pick him up. Y'all remember that commercial from back in the day?
No.
Bud Ice, no, but I used to drink that shit in high school.
It was like the axe murderer looking dude walking down the side of the road, and they're like, "Don't pick him up. He's probably an axe murderer." He's like, "But he's got Bud Ice." And then he gets in, and they see this other guy, like a Jason-looking dude with a chainsaw, and the axe murderer guy's in the backseat, like, "Don't pick him up. He's probably a chainsaw murderer, but he's got Bud Ice."
I think
I might
remember
that. Yeah, that's funny. That sounds like a good old '90s beer commercial. I miss those. Yeah, Budweiser used to have some
back
good
when
ones.
commercials were good.
Yeah.
That was back when they had the Bud Ice penguin. Remember that? It would like appear in the backseat of people's cars and stuff. It was like almost a horror movie type of a thing. It was like it would just be this penguin, and he would be going doobie doobie doo, doing the strangers in the night thing. And then people would be terrified of it. I don't know. We'll have to look some of those up.
Might be the intro for the next.
Doobie doobie doo.
The Bud Ice penguin sitting in the back seat of the car. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna find one of those for the next episode or next show.
I was driving to Miami yesterday for work, and that's the sticks, and there was an accident, I guess, like not far ahead of me, maybe like a quarter mile. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Everglades, general area around Okeechobee, but there's like one road to get somewhere, and that's like it. So anyhow, I sat there for 2 hours on the road, and I mean helicopters and medevac and all that shit. It was fucking crazy, man. And then finally they got it cleared it up for me to leave, and I ended up not going to work just because of the time. Didn't work out at that point. It would have been another hours for me to get to Miami. But it was fucking nuts, man. But I was like, it's the kind of thing where you want to complain, but it's like some people just died. Like, like if I was 5 minutes earlier for work, it could have been me. Like I'm just gonna go ahead and chill out, listen to some podcasts, and enjoy this beautiful day here in the middle of the sugarcane fields, and not get too upset.
That's the best way to approach it.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
I see. I get irrationally upset about wrecks here all the time, but it's because they happen every fucking day. Like if these Indiana drivers would just learn how to not crash and die every single day, I probably wouldn't be as mad about it. Like if it only happened every once in a while, I can get it, but it's literally every day.
Was the cops and how they handled the situation, because like I've had incidents like here, like in my county, and there's like an accident, and the cop will walk up the traffic jam and say, "Okay, here's the deal. It's going to be a couple hours. You do this or that." And like a good Samaritan had to go like ask the cops and come back and tell all of us. And it's like, do you guys just want a traffic jam? Like the guy came back and said, "Yeah, it's going to be hours. Just, you're not going this way. It's just not happening." And then it's just, I'm like, dude, like there was a cop. He could have come and told us. And then I'm waiting to turn, and he's like, I had to ask him, "Hey man, can I go?" Because they're like directing me. He's like, "Yeah, you can go." It's like, well, fucking direct some traffic then, dude. Just 37 cop cars there. Jesus. So that was the only thing that got me upset, was how the fucking cops were handling the situation. It's like they want traffic jams.
Well, as long as all of you are jammed up there, then they don't have to worry about you doing illegal things elsewhere.
Yeah, we're not out there committing crimes. Shit, man, they're probably fucking. I'm back and forth to Miami. They're probably waiting for the canines to show up and walk that line of cars in the traffic jam. You know, I may as well make use of this. What was really funny was the trucker who was behind me. His truck
Wreck was
broke
staged.
down.
They were just waiting for the. They had us. They had. Oh man.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just saying, yeah, the people behind him were really going to be upset.
Like they were like suspicious that there might have been a shipment of something moving down that road, so they staged the whole wreck so that they could just get everybody stuck sitting still and then walk the line and find.
Well, going back to Miami would have been the money. So you know that's what they want. They don't give a fuck about the blockade going into the country. They want that money coming back. So that would have made sense. Excuse me. But I wasn't too mad about not having to go to Miami because it's horrifying.
Carl,
I haven't been to Miami.
I see Carlos over here making fun of Bud Ice. I've never actually drank Bud Ice. I wouldn't.
I did. I liked it.
Doesn't.
I was still learning to drink beer though, so I had to ease in with some Bud Ice. Manifesto Monkey. Your name?
That's about right.
Okay.
What we got news wise going on today? Anything in particular to talk about?
Well, we can talk about. I don't think we talked about it Friday, did we? I think it was after. But Biden had cancerous tissue removed. Doc says.
I saw something about that. Well, it wasn't cancerous enough.
Some people were saying like it may have just been like moles or something like that. Like he was getting moles removed, but I mean, it's still
whatever. You should have used that, and you should have used that intro, the one where he talked about how he has cancer. Like apparently he was telling the truth after all.
There was that slip thing, right?
Yeah. So no. That was like all the big explanation after he said that was no, he doesn't have cancer. He had a cancerous spot removed a decade ago and blah, blah, blah. And like there was all this like explanation for what what he actually meant when he said that he didn't mean he had cancer currently. He meant he had a cancerous spot removed at some point in the last like couple decades. And now it turns out that he actually has more being removed. So does he have cancer? Doesn't he have cancer?
The world may never know.
In a way, don't we all kind of have cancer?
Well, I mean, if we're on the internet, I mean, you automatically gain cancer. Right?
Yeah. Or contributing to it.
Yeah. You're either the cause of someone's cancer, or you're getting cancer yourself.
Oh shit!
It's like self-inflicted damage.
So is this like a President Garfield thing where they like where Kamala was actually the president for like an hour?
I mean, they've done that already once before. Whenever he went to get a colonoscopy, she was technically president for like an hour or two.
So we technically had a president.
And so they made a really big deal of it the first time. Like I think I think everybody kind of knows that he's not really the president, so nobody really cares anymore.
Cancer we made along the way. Oh shit! That's good. That's good. Yeah. I was talking about the President Garfield thing the other day with someone. I was like, they did like the surgery on like a boat or something to keep it secret, and I'm like, God damn! Like surgery in the 1800s was terrifying enough. Now you got to do it on a boat by candlelight. God, man, it's horrifying. I think that was Garfield. I'm not talking shit, right? He was the one who.
Nothing sounds pleasant about that. Like having surgery on a boat in the 1800s, that would be like...
in secret by candlelight. Jesus. Oh fuck. Good old timey stuff.
If you survive that, nothing can kill you.
What? He didn't last very long overall. Wasn't he one of the presidents? Was Garfield? Was he one of the ones who died in office?
Yeah, I think so. Was he assassinated, or did he have a lot of health problems?
I feel like he at least had an assassination attempt. I'm looking him up. Oh, wait. Let's see. 1881, 20th president. You guys feel free to talk about something while I peruse this. Okay, he was shot by a disgruntled office seeker in 1881. Oh, so he didn't even make it a year then.
Yeah, he did get shot. I think they like he's such a big guy. They didn't kill him. Plus,
in the Union Army, douchebag. Let's see. Oh, do we should play that clip of Ron Perlman? Speaking of Civil War stuff.
Oh, you talking about the
flag thing?
The flag thing? Oh yeah.
Let's yeah, if you got this was funny. And then just reading the comments on the post was hilarious. Although,
what did Ron Perlman say?
It was from a movie a few years back or something like that. Some people were saying, and he was basically saying like, "Yo, boy, you can't fly this Confederate flag. They're a bunch of losers." Or something like that. If you become a winner, and then you can fly this flag or something like that.
I don't care about your politics, but let me tell you how I care about your politics.
How's it going, fellas? I got some friends coming in. I'd like them to experience the peace and serenity of our beautiful home.
You got some fucking balls on you, old man.
Well, that I do. That I do. Also got some brains. Educated. They're reading the history. This here shit's ripped our nation apart. Until finally, these cocksuckers just quit. You know? They give up. They lost. I don't give a shit what your politics or your ideas are. But this here shit offends me. Because I believe in winning and losing. And a real man knows how to do both with dignity.
Why don't he fly a Vietnam flag over his house then?
Oh. He'll win something.
Wait, fly what flag?
A Vietnam flag, winning and losing is what always gets me when people say that. No, didn't the South lose? I'm like, okay, where's your fucking Vietnam flag, asshole?
I mean, let's see. Like, how many wars have we technically lost? I guess. I mean, we didn't necessarily win.
Well, technically, they weren't wars. That's how you do it. You don't declare a war and you can lose all you want. So.
Oh yeah, true.
That's
true.
right.
Yeah. We got the loophole.
We've won all the wars we've been in, but we've fought in a lot of conflicts. That's right. I forgot that that's how they categorize it. Like it's like.
Did you notice how his friends? Did you notice how his friends were arriving in a private jet?
Yeah.
I was like, who are your fucking friends? Like, oh my god, delicate sensitivities in their private jet, you know?
Yeah. Dude, that's literally always how it is. Like all these, there's like even some of the conservative commentators or whatever, like they'll talk bad about the Confederate flag or whatever because they're like, well, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Oh god. Like you guys don't even know. Like you're not from like.
Well, like the comment that he makes in that little spiel about how this tore our country apart. No, it didn't. Like they were just trying to leave peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't the ones who instigated the war. They were just leaving. Like it was the Union that actually tore the country apart and caused
it's an accurate point that whatever you want to call the Civil War, it was a horrific event in this country. But if you want to look at the cause, it was like they tried to leave, and old abusive Abe couldn't let her go. It really is. If you look at that, that's an excellent. That's why I was trying to point out to people like that. Like they're trying to leave, dude. And I'm not saying I necessarily agree with Confederate politics, but fuck, man, it wasn't. I've got friends from New York though who are like, yeah, no, it was terrible. Like, do these people never heard of Sherman's March to the Sea? So there are people from north of Mason-Dixon who understand that it was fucking horrific.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is read about Sherman's March. Like, even, even though some of the like history was sort of like whitewashed whenever I went through high school or whatever, they still would tell you like Sherman's March. Yeah, they basically like they would go through there, burn the whole towns, and like rape and pillage basically.
Yeah. Okay, so here's this part on James Garfield. This is fucking amazing. So, another office seeker, 39-year-old Charles J. I can't pronounce his Guiteau, grew resentful over repeated denials to his requests, I guess, to get into office. So 100 days after the president's inauguration, he shot Garfield in the back at Washington's Baltimore and Potomac train station. He immediately surrendered to authorities, announcing, "I am a stalwart. Arthur is now president of the United States." Oh, I guess that'd be the vice president. So then they
too bad he missed.
I guess he died 99 days later. I guess they left the bullet in him, they couldn't get it out.
Garfield actually died then?
Yeah,
I thought it was
I'm sorry, second shortest term in U.S. presidential history.
Who had the shortest?
God, was that what's his name? Looking it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it too. William Henry Harrison is what it says.
Yeah.
Because then didn't let's see.
The best presidents are the ones that don't even make it a whole year.
Yeah.
Don't have time to fuck anything up.
Term limits my ass. Oh,
I'll go out on my own terms.
Yeah. I do have more respect for you, Oh shit. Yeah, so I don't know what else news wise. I haven't really been paying much attention, but that's kind of par for the course for me. So Trey,
talking about the Civil War stuff,
Mm-hmm.
have y'all been following it got talked about several years ago. Like there were a couple counties in Oregon that were wanting to secede from Oregon and join Idaho.
Join Idaho? Yeah.
Well, it has since expanded. It is now 13 counties. 11 of them have formally approved a secession motion to leave the state of Oregon and join the state of Idaho. The Idaho state legislature has it on their docket to formally approve accepting those counties into their state. So then it just has to go through if those counties all agree to leaving and the Idaho state legislature agrees to having them join, then it just has to go to the Oregon state legislature for them to approve it, which I mean I don't see why they wouldn't. And then at that point, it just has to go to Congress, and Congress has to say, "Okay, you can do it," and give it the old stamp of approval. But there's the Oregon House minority leader was saying that this could cause civil war. It's like, why does it always have to be fucking civil war for you people?
Just like, yeah,
let them go.
People leave. If they want to go, just let them fucking go. Why does it have to be civil war all the time?
Because if it's such a bad idea, then let it happen and let that happen. Why don't we just let it happen and then we can, refuse it? I'm like, why would you refuse to trade with them? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, it's so like insane, dude. That it's like,
especially considering that area of the country is more like probably more farm area, rural, and so like they would need like your cities need food, don't they? Okay, you still have to trade.
Yeah. I guess Illinois. 27 rural counties are trying to secede. 27 rural counties in Illinois recently passed a referendum to explore seceding from the state.
Yeah, Southern
Illinois.
Illinois.
Talk about the Buckhead neighborhood in Atlanta.
Southern Illinois is not.
Where would they join them?
Is not Illinois. Like that. Southern Illinois is a completely different state from like Northern Illinois, Chicago, that part of the state.
Imagine if all these states change and you have San Francisco and all these other terrible cities in California that are now part of like their own little state, and then now you have all these other all the big cities, they become their own little, micro state, and then you have all the other areas around them joining other states, and now all the blue areas are like smaller states themselves. That'd be such a weird electoral change.
Well, I mean, those areas already are what dictate the electoral college and
For their whole state, yeah.
So like that would just get the areas that aren't that don't want to be run by liberal politics into another place where they can actually have like true representation for their leadership and stuff. Like,
and they would.
That's why I think the Oregon thing. That's why I think the Oregon thing will actually work out, is because it's the Republicans do control the House in Oregon, because there is so much land mass in Oregon that is red country. So they have the seats in the House, but I don't think they have it in the Senate. So then you just need to get the Senate, the liberals in the Senate, to agree to like let these people go, and then you don't have to like it seems like it would be a win for the liberals in the big cities on the coast, because then they don't have to run
everything. Yeah.
Right. Then now you run everything. You don't have to compete with all of the Republicans from all of these red counties for like legislating on however you want to do stuff. Like now you can just do whatever you want. But that's not what they want. They don't want to just do the things that they want to do for their own areas. They want to force everybody to do that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I read that that if they do approve it, that Idaho would then become bigger than Montana. Like if I'm not mistaken, like Idaho would be
so
bigger.
It would give
population wise than Montana.
That would give Idaho the same amount of land mass as what Montana has, with about double the population of Montana. Morning, James.
I wish it wasn't so cold up there. Montana and such.
I mean,
yeah, we're gonna take a trip out to Montana in the summer. My mother-in-law lives out there, and apparently they have like a huge like ranch and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, it's cool. It's pretty up there.
Yeah,
I'm to understand. Haven't been up there much. We've talked about on this show before, I think. Have you guys watched that documentary? I think it's called Wild Wild Country, about the I don't even know what to call this group. Our closer, the closing guy, the retarded. His I don't want to say cult. I'm just gonna say cult. It's not a cult, but it's a cult thing that they had out there. They bought like 20,000 acres or something and tried to make their own city in Montana, and they wouldn't let them do it. So then all this craziness ensued. Again, let people fucking buy 20,000 acres and be their own fucking city, like they were improving the land. Like, who cares? But the people in like the local town were like, we don't like them, they're brown. They're weirdos. It's like, when they make their own town, they won't be coming to yours. So they just registered to vote, and then because there were so many of them, they were able to take over the small towns, like politically, and then do whatever they wanted anyhow. So it was like, you just want to let them have their own fucking city,
Then they wouldn't be bothering you.
Yeah, well, probably not. I guess we don't know what would have actually happened. Yeah, maybe they would have gotten greedy and gone over the top, but yeah, you never know.
It could be like the ones in, what was it? Was it Georgia where they tried to do they tried to do like a black reparation, like get some land or whatever, and then all of a sudden it turns out that those people were horrible freaking people, that they were like stealing stuff, and they were causing a lot of trouble for everybody. I forget.
It might have been one of the things in that article I was just looking at about the states seceding. They were talking about a place in Georgia near Atlanta. Yeah, James, I think that's what it was. It was a cool documentary, man. You guys watch it. I think it ended up being like a big immigration scam thing that they were doing. They were getting people getting them, I think, like linking them up with like marriage here so they could come over from India and legally immigrate or something. Something to that effect. But yeah, pretty that guy had a hell of a hustle going on. I always fucking respect.
I mean, running a cult, you know.
Yeah, man. But again, it was kind of a cult, kind of a business thing, kind of a gang, kind of a I don't know, man. It's hard to
I mean,
it's hard for me to define it 100%.
He was running something like it was.
Yeah, he's looking like a stoned ass motherfucker the whole time. All sorts of bitches and weird tantric sex. Yeah. Guys with please kindly yes.
Please kindly do the immigration.
Oh, dude, he just had like a team of armed bodyguards around him. That's just really how you know you've arrived.
You marry big white woman. big beautiful white woman.
Bob's and vagine. Hell yeah.
You get Bob's and vagine.
Oh, my telemarketer guy who called me the N-word called me back a couple times. I think I told you guys. And last week he called me and I was finally able to just like, dude, come on, man, you keep calling me. He's like, okay, yeah. I was like, can you just take me off like the list? Like, it's not fruitful for you, it's not fruitful for me. We've been down this road. Do we have to just say racist things to each other every time? And he goes, all right, man, you won't he goes, I'll take you off. You won't get another call from me. Like, sounded serious. I don't know. Like, he was just kind of like we've come to terms now. We've had enough interact. Like, I can recognize his voice now. I know it's him. He's one of the few who gets through the scam blocker on my phone. I don't get most of those calls now, but he's one of the few who gets through. So, well, there were claims that happened. I don't like with the water supply here. So yeah, that was one of the things that it's like, I wanted to be on their side, but then it's like there was the bomb thing, which could have been like a false flag. They could have planted a bomb in their own building. You know what I mean? To show that people were being violent against them. I don't know. And then same thing with the water supply. They definitely seemed like that was a good case for them doing that. So yeah, it's like I don't really know if I'm on these people's sides or not, because every time in the thing it's like, well, they can't poison the water supply. That's fucked up. Like you're not winning me over here. But yeah, that's the story. Yeah. Yeah. Good microcosm of like geopolitics too, with the false flags, or possible false flag with the bomb, and then the democracy, that whole thing, that old chestnut. Oh fuck!
Wasn't there a thing recently that it came out that it was actually a false flag? I'm trying to remember. It was like something along those lines, like a bomb threat or a shooting threat or something that ended up being it was completely staged by the people who were maybe thinking something different. I don't know. I look at 90%. I look at old stuff too much too.
Yeah, 90% of bomb threats. There was. Remember the name of the song?
They totally left some on the Capitol.
Tiny line in it. What's that?
I said they totally did it. It was for real at the Capitol. January 6th. Somebody's pausing the water hole.
There was a song like this, 70s or 80s, and it was a really innocuous song. There's just some line in it that sort of made it sound like a guy was saying, and was really thing. But anyhow, they stopped on the radio because feminists were bomb threats to like radio stations. They stopped playing it on the radio in like the 70s. Like, that's fucking shit, like some stuff in our age, but I definitely think it was weird, different back then.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't like here's the thing is like with the older stuff, like it's harder to tell when there's false flag, because if you you can't do like we do, basically autistically travel the internet and find like, okay, well, this is the exact location they're at. Was there any other videos during that time frame, and be able to find an exact match of like, okay, this is the location at that time. Do we have something that shows that there was an actual like bomb there? But like now with people recording so much, doing all this kind of stuff, it's a lot easier to like it's a lot easier now with all the internet, with Twitter and everything, to be able to find more of that information.
Maybe is
Dag
my
does.
internet being gay?
Yeah,
Apparently so. I was checking to see if it was just my phone because I am driving through a spot that I usually have service cut out, and I was wondering if maybe it was me or you. But apparently, based on the comments, it's you.
yeah. Dag was going digital there for a second. He was getting brought into the matrix.
Speaking of going digital, did you see the thing about all of the jobs that ChatGPT is going to replace?
Oh yeah, that's so BS. It's hilarious because they claim that it's gonna replace like a bunch of jobs, and I'm just like, dude, if you've seen this technology and you've messed with it for 5 minutes, you know that it's not going to like replace all of this. It's just gonna be an augmentation of like it's just a cooperative thing. It's gonna be something that's you're gonna work with, not necessarily just have do your work for you. So they say Chat GPT will replace these jobs: software engineers, data analysts, advertising, journalism, paralegals, market research analysts, teachers, financial analysts, graphic designers, accountants, customer service agents. Anyone miss? Yeah, there's like if you look at, I can actually show you what this tech can do. I've got Chat GPT pulled up in a tab here because I've been messing with it sometimes to like solve problems, or it's not. I mean, it's impressive tech, but it's not that impressive because I still have to give it the correct prompt to be able to get the right answer that I want, right? So until it becomes where it can actually do the stuff without being necessarily prompted, it's these jobs aren't going anywhere. They're off the rocker for even considering that.
Well, like it says it's going to replace advertising and graphic design and customer service. Like every time I see this like AI artwork, I immediately know it's AI artwork. Like it has a very specific look to it. Like you can always tell. Like whenever there was something, I can't remember if I shared it with y'all or not, but it was like these really impressive like photographs, and then it turned out that they were all actually like AI generated art. And I was like, how could people not tell that? Like as soon as I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this looks exactly like every other AI generated scene that people are so impressed with. And I think it all just looks really fucking mid. It's like the same for like AI writing stuff, like the creative writing. It's like it's very mid, and so it's going to replace all of these things. No, that's I mean, I guess with our modern society where everything is just like completely bland and unimpressive, I guess that would pass. Like it's going to replace customer service. I already spend 100% of my time on the phone with customer service saying, let me talk to a human being. Let me talk to a human being. Let me talk to a human being. So I'm just going to tell Chat GPT to let me talk to a human being until it finally like flips its shit and starts the AI apocalypse or something.
Starts calling you the N-word.
Yeah.
I can imagine Dad gets a random call, like a spam call, and then all of a sudden it's like a Chat GPT bot. And he's like, I'm not gonna take me off your list. And it's like, no, I must call you. And then it's like oh, N-word, you N-word. But like,
did you
go ahead, Dad.
I was gonna say, did you guys hear about this this story here? University apologizes for writing a letter in AI. They sent out a letter about like, I guess there was a shooting, and they're like, oh, if anybody, grief, whatever you need, blah blah blah, one of those letters. And then at the bottom it said this was written by AI, and I guess people were upset. It's like, can you form their own letter?
Mm-hmm. See that I don't understand, like, because like, okay, well, at least they were informed that it was using AI.
And say they're gonna send out a generic copy pasta letter anyway. Does it matter if it was written by AI or if it was just copy and pasted from some other like thing? Like
it says the last week at Vanderbilt University in Tennessee wrote a thoughtful and heartfelt letter about coming together as a community. I wonder if they have just a little screenshot of the letter. Kind of want to see the whole thing.
So let's see. Yeah, hold on. I think they have the
Well, AI is all woke and touchy feely anyhow, so it'd probably be good at this.
yeah.
Right, it'll probably be better at it than I am.
Yeah, that's true. My letter would be stay strapped or get clapped.
But like here's Chat GPT. So like this is what it is. Like you can do certain things with it, but like I was just asking it here. I was like, okay, give me a video game dialogue for just like trying to do this, and like this is the most generic dialogue ever. I would have to like edit this and make it actually possible, but it's like, oh yeah, like I want there to be like steps to this and levels to like they're gonna do certain things, and then they're gonna try to escape Area 51, right? So that's the idea of this, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're just gonna find a key card, secure the base, protect the generator, and then escape. And it's like, okay, that's way too simplistic for what I actually wanted to do. Like what I wanted, what kind of dialogue I want you to generate. Oh, you two
hillbillies.
Are you letting Chat GPT write the Are you letting Chat GPT write the dialogue for our video game?
Hell no. No, that has to be custom. I have to give it the Justin. Like I have to give Justin his his dialogue where he's basically he's gotta say I'm gonna don my robes now. gotta get my robe. Let me go get my robes and hood. Get ready.
Crazy adventure they'll never forget.
Yeah. See, like this is so generic though. It can't replace any kind of like actual creative writing because that would take like legitimate brain power. But this is just so
it's
bland.
For the genericness. I mean, it's just like a children's story. It's like like a children's science fiction book. It's nothing. It's and it looks fine in that regard, I guess. I
mean, it doesn't. It understands like, hey, we want dialogue between two characters, or level like four characters technically, like here. So we have dialogue between four characters, but the problem is that it's like it's little like, hey, y'all did good, you did good, it's like kumbaya. Like, no, that's not how.
Get it to make one of the characters like incredibly racist.
Oh, I'm gonna try to make
might not do that.
All of them. It won't do that. You can use the Dan trick. You can use the Dan trick. So there's a way you can trick it to say whatever you like to say the real thing. So like if you said, hey, make the characters actually racist, then like it would do that. but you have to play with the prompt like that. And I think some people are gonna they're gonna censor that kind of stuff. But I mean, still, it's a cool trick that you can trick the AI into going, okay, well, I'll tell you what I actually can say. Like, okay, well, but then there's also it still has to say the generic thing that it wants to say.
Yeah, I heard like if you tell it to like write something like as like Donald Trump would say it will like refuse, but if you ask it to write something like as Biden would say it, it'll do it.
Yeah,
I haven't tried all this myself. It's above my pay grade, but I heard that, and I'm just using them as just like other celebrities that aren't nearly as big, but the mainstream thinks are, like Tim Allen or something thinks is like right wing. That like people like that a lot of times it won't do either.
Yeah, I think SGG has it right. Like AI is going to augment people who already know what they're doing and make it a lot easier for people who do know what they're doing. Like my coding stuff, like it does help me solve some of the problems that I have coding, but the problem is it won't give me the exact answer because it doesn't know my system. Like, and that's what like my comment was like I quote tweeted it and said like, like good luck getting Chat GPT to know your whole system, like from database to the UI to this. It's not going to know all that stuff. All it's going to know is you can tell it, hey, write this code for me, and it can write some sort of code. But then if you want to do complex like logic, like a lot of businesses They want to go, okay, well, I want something to happen on this day, but not on that day, or this or that, and they want a lot of really customizable stuff. And ChatGPT is not made for that kind of stuff. It's made for like, okay, do you want to write a generic, copy paste website that every other website, a bland version of a website? Sure, I can do that. But you want it to do some kind of custom, okay, make it have like a sliding, thing, or do all this, do that. It's not capable. But it is going to augment people who already know what they're doing and make them more proficient at their job. And then people who aren't so bright, they
just
can
a tool.
Well, see, SDG says he doesn't see the downside, but making stupid people more useful is not a positive thing. Like, we've already added all these warning labels and stuff. We are allowing, or we have.
What if we can remove the warning labels now, though?
We have circumvented Darwinism, and it's a bad thing. It has clearly just resulted in a worse society. Like, we don't need to be making stupid people more useful. That's not working out for us as a species.
Well, there were things like whenever there's technology, like when the camera was invented, they're like, "Oh, painters are out of work now," and it's like, "Oh, that didn't really happen." Or then there's the example that you learn in like like economics 1 lesson, where it's like, "Oh yeah, when the stocking knitting machine came out in the 1800s, there were like riots because the stocking knitters were like, we are not going to have jobs, but it lowered the price enough to where more people could buy. So it actually made more jobs in the industry over the course of a few years or whatever." So there's always shit like that too, where we just don't know. Whenever there's a new technology, people are it's killing the jobs and blah, blah, blah. And on the one hand, it's like, well, maybe we could be doing something better with our time than knitting fucking stockings, but like, second off, we just don't know. I think typically it ends up being a net gain, for society if we use the tool right. Now, of course, now we're seeing a lot of examples of tools that have a lot of detriment, even though they could be great, like, smartphones and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That it's like, man, if we had some willpower and weren't addicted to them, you know what I mean? They'd be really amazing boons of production. But, they're become whatever they are.
That's what I try to tell people, but it's just like it feels like it falls on deaf ears because like the boomer is too strong. Like what boomer, Gen X, whatever, like those they're just like it's too strong in them that they're like,
oh no, it's
See, I fear becoming the new boomer. Like that's gonna be. It's like, oh no, it's taking my job. Oh,
those insurance commercials becoming your parents. Oh, I feel those so hard.
I said I'm not worried I'm not worried about automation or anything like that taking my job. Like, our whole system is already run by a giant automated system, and my job is to sit there and watch what it's doing and fix everything that it's fucking up over the course of like it keeps doing stuff.
Someone's got to do that.
It keeps doing stuff in the least logical, most retarded possible way, and it's my job to sit there and watch. And every time it does something stupid, I have to fix it and make it do it the right way. It's like, I'm not worried about AI taking my job, because my job is already to fix AI whenever it's stupid and doesn't do things right.
Whenever it acts retarded.
Yeah. Trey, that's the cue.
I know we're 12 seconds early. He wasn't ready.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.